Well, welcome back. This is another episode of Fear the Talking Heads. I'm here today with Joe. Hello, Joe.
Cheers, like to my official Bonehead Weekly cup.
Oh, is it really?
hmm And you can get this official Bonehead Weekly glass from our store on our Bonehead Weekly That's not true,
He's lying.
but if you want a Bonehead Weekly glass, I totally know somebody that'll make it for you. They made these. Her name's Mercedes. She did a really good job. Cheers.
Cheers.
I was told I was going to be interviewed about my actual self. And
Yes.
I'm used to asking the questions or being entertainer person, and I need something to get me to that spot to where I'll actually talk about myself.
The reason I asked Joe here today is so that we could talk about his time at ScareFest Weekend. So, if you're new to the channel, this channel is ScareFest Weekend heavy. It's a horror convention held in Lexington, Kentucky in October of every year. So, unless they change it sometime. But Joe has been the panel moderator there for this year will be 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
So tell us what that looks like. I mean, being and how did you even get there? How did you even come upon this gig?
So I get that question sometimes throughout the years, and people usually want to know, hey, what can I do to do that? How can I get your job? I don't take it as an insult. I know, like everyone else, I'm incredibly insecure, but I don't take it as an insult. I'm not they're trying to attack me. It's a cool job. I am lucky to have it. It's fantastic. That being said, I always try to give them advice of, well, I can tell you how it happened, and I'll tell you, Barbara, in a second. For me, but it's the same advice that every actor, director ever gave me too. I can tell you how it worked for me. How I did it will never work for you. And I always
Everyone has their own spin on it, right?
it's you just things sometimes happen and you either take advantage of the opportunity given to you at the time and snag it, or you go, I don't know, you have to be at the right, there's a certain amount of luck. And then if you luck opportunities where luck and actual knowledge and preparation it gets you. That's where it intersects, right? So
Yeah.
there is a certain amount of luck. So that's the reason people say it all the time. It's like, well, I can teach you how to do this or do that, but I can't get you the job.
Right. And I know you told me before, like you do a lot of prep work beforehand, make sure you have a lot of questions. But what I've noticed the difference between the way you moderate and the way someone else moderates
You mean the
at
normal
say
ones?
at say another horror convention or even Comic-Con
Yeah.
is I've seen that they will ask quite a few string of questions as a moderator, and then they might throw a few, like one or two questions out to the audience before they close it up. Now, if you've never been to one of the panels that Joe leads, he may not even ask a question. I know last year for Scream, you didn't even ask, I don't think, one question because the room was packed.
That room was so thirsty. It was the Sahara Desert. That room was one of the top three just electricity in the air rooms I have ever had the privilege to just kind of host. And they didn't need me. I think I did a pretty good job of getting it right here, right before they came on. I had a really good 30 seconds. Do you remember it?
Yep. And then it was Skeet's time to shine.
And then it was skeet, skeet, skeet all over that audience.
Right. And you remember what that lady
Figuratively and
said?
literally.
You,
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. Skeet took the microphone away from him. It worked fine. It was fantastic. He got out into the audience. She gets up, she walks up to him, and you can see that everything in her is trying to stop herself from touching him. Oh my God, God just took an extra few minutes with you.
that was so great.
Right before we had them all out there, and I got up and it just hit that. I hit like, here's a level. Welcome to ScareFest. We're now in the top three horror blah 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 in the world, not the United States, in the world. And it's because of you. And it was fever pitch, and it just blew up.
It,
Convention in the world. There were 30,000 people this year. We could not do it without you all.
now you said that was probably one of the three
Just most,
most electric type of
yeah,
moments in the room. Can you think of a couple others that were just packed and just really good audience, really great
yeah.
panel?
One in particular was right before COVID, the first time they had Robert England at ScareFest. And we had just so many people. The Griffiths had probably just bought the convention 1 or 2 years before, and Brandon's one of the smartest people I know. And he was kind of retooling everything. He always retools. He's not a promoter by nature, but he is a smart dude. So put him in whatever you want. He'll figure it out. We just had so many people that year from Nightmare on Elm Street, and we had them all on stage, and so many different people had different agents, and they're trying to
Oh,
figure it all out outside, and I'm killing time. And that crowd is so big because 80% of them are there to see Robert Englund. But also, you got to remember there's like 12, 14 people from all the different Nightmare on Elm Streets on that stage, including when I first met one of my good friends named Mick Strawn. That was the time Robert and I were having a conversation, and Robert was being very magnanimous and just telling me all about his time with Tarantino. And then this chubby 60-year-old bastard with long hair walks up, interrupts, because I don't know who he is, interrupts Robert and I to get this damn Freddy glove signed. And then I find out, oh, it was for a small child who had special needs.
oh.
That
Don't you
doesn't
love
make
when you can
Mick,
do stuff like that?
no, it doesn't make Mick Strawn any less of a bastard. It was my time. He interrupts. I'm joking.
He has quite a few interviews with you guys. He's on your show a lot.
Yeah, he's a production designer. He was a production designer in Hollywood. He was a production designer on 3 and 4. His sister also worked on those as well. She was the designer on 5. Mortal Kombat, tons of movies that from the 80s, especially New Line, a few Cannon films. He worked on Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, Critters 2, so many different movies. And he's a wonderful human being and a fantastic storyteller. So I like to surround myself with people who are insane and good storytellers. But back to that original story, that was electrifying, but it kept getting a little heated because we were taking forever to get them into the room, and I started having to just kill more and more time. And I'll tell this quick story. I've told this one a lot. There's this little guy in the back of the crowd stands up. I was like, so has anybody got any questions? I've already gotten interrupted by Mick, went back on stage, told them the story that Robert just told me about how he's almost in Kill Bill. Almost verbatim, I deliver it to the crowd. And I was like, but I'm running out of it, Barbara. There's only so much, you know. He stands up and goes, yeah, can you tell me what your perfect first date would be? There's 2 ways to handle that. I just invited him on stage.
Did you really?
Yeah, I brought him up. I said, listen, I'm straight, but it depends on how many drinks. Let's talk about what's going to happen.
It's
And then
hilarious.
we just went, and the crowd, it was great. It was, once again, you remember when you're being prepared and luck don't always work, but when it does, that crowd loves it because they're
Yeah.
part of it. And we did some questions. The funny part of that actually is he gets off stage, we're friendly. He talks to me a little bit after, but I am, and and people who work it know that I drink coffee, tea. I don't even particularly like tea, but coffee and water continuously to keep my throat going. And I'm always running back and forth to the bathroom. So I have to haul ass as soon as we get all 86 Nightmare on Elm Street people off that stage and run to the bathroom. I no more than make it to the urinal than this dude who's twice my size. And at the time, I'm well over 3 something, right? Waddles up to me at the urinal going, hey, did you know that guy? Can I get his number?
No way. You made a connection. You were Cupid that day.
I didn't know that dude though. I don't have his number, and all I wanted to do was pee, Barbara. That's all I
Oh,
wanted to do.
I wonder how often that happens to celebrities too, trying to go to the bathroom and someone just comes in and is like,
Michael Caine has the best story about that. Have you ever heard it?
no.
Michael Caine met John Wayne in the 60s when he first hit it, right? Right around the Italian job time. If you don't know Michael Caine, it's how he says you're supposed to impersonate him. It's
Oh,
Michael
God.
Caine. Anyway, so Michael Caine was at the urinal. Let's say it's like the Hollywood, whichever famous hotel that is. And John Wayne is next to him. And he was just a huge John Wayne
Oh,
fan. Like
no.
anybody at the time across the world, he loved American movies and Westerns. So John Wayne goes, oh, and it was Alfie. I think it was Alfie. It's like, oh, saw you in Alfie. You're going to be a big star. I need to give you some advice. Do not wear suede shoes. Why don't I need to wear
Hmm.
suede shoes? Because inevitably, John Wayne has given Michael Caine this advice. You're going to be standing at the urinal, and some guy's going to look over and goes, oh my God, you're Michael Caine, and then piss on you.
Well, I
It's
hope
going
that's
to
never
happen.
really happened.
That's never happened to me. I'm not famous.
And you don't wear suede shoes.
What?
Okay, so that was the second time. Is there a third time that you had an electric room?
There's a lot of anime panels that just you have to do so little for.
Really?
Because yeah, because the fans are can be a little different and but they're so ready to talk to their dub actors. There's a ton of those. The one I would say that out of the two or three that I don't know that was necessarily electric, but it's the one I always say is one of the favorite ones I've ever done was that first year in Romero. It was I just nailed it.
I do remember you saying that was one that you felt pretty good about afterwards.
I had a hard time because the question I get a lot is like first it's always from normal people who don't do
Normies.
normies who don't do our side gig and they'll walk and they'll find out or it'll come up in conversation. They'll go, who's the most famous? And I go, it's such a subjective question, right?
Yeah.
Who, I don't know, Chuck Norris? I got this question after doing Danville Comic Con 2 weeks ago. The sound guy's daughter, who's in her 20s, had someone there and she was like, well, who's the most famous? And I was like, Chuck Norris. She was like, hmm. And then 14-year-old was there and goes, I don't know who that is. And I go, see?
No.
But it's subjective, Barbara. It's your
But
friend.
there's so many memes out there.
Are the memes there for the 14-year-olds and the
Yeah,
20?
maybe not. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just, I don't know. So I get that question a lot, but Romero, I didn't know he was dying. I knew he was sick. He wanted to talk about the things that got away. It was his exact phrase. I said, what do you want to talk about? And he goes, I won't ask you any zombie questions. And he said, yeah, right. And I go, no, the audience will ask you some zombie questions. I will not ask you zombie questions. That's too easy. That's low hanging fruit. And I think you know that I try to go out of my way to ask things that other people won't ask.
That's what's great about your show is that when you tune in, you actually hear different questions, which pulls different answers that you haven't heard before.
Yeah, we pride
So,
ourselves on it. A couple of weeks ago at the Danville Comic Con, I was interviewing somebody called Eddie Deason. If you don't know who Eddie Deason is, Eddie Deason is in Greece. He's the nerdy guy with glasses in war games. He plays the little nerdy kid in the Polar Express with the high-pitched voice. He was a voiceover actor for Dexter's Laboratory. Nice guy, nice to me. We're about 10, 15 minutes into it, and I throw something at him, and he goes, you actually do know my career. Afterwards, his handlers actually, and one of them is his driver who works with his agent on weekends to do these things. And he was like, so you must be a film professor. And I said, no, I'm not. And he goes, well, how'd you know his career? And I thought to myself, how do you not know his career? You work for him. Have you not stopped to watch anything he was in?
like, if you
Greece.
know him in nothing else, you'll know him from Greece.
Yeah, yeah, he's in Greece
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is the one I weirdly prefer.
Oh, I prefer the Grease too. Yes.
I know that it's an inferior film, but I can't stop singing the songs because my mom had, and I told Eddie this, my mom had a crush on Maxwell
Well,
Caulfield.
yes.
So
Cool
she watched
rider.
it. Yeah, oh my God, let's do it for our country. The red, white, and the blue.
Well, I've told you this before. My cousin and I would just sing that to the top of our lungs.
I can sing most of the songs. Back in school again.
You kind of blend Bonehead with ScareFest in one way because you every Friday, and some people don't watch the show ScareFest TV, but every Friday there's a show at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, usually towards the end. Joe comes on with about 3 or 4 minutes of a movie review, and this is religiously every week. Now,
Yeah,
what people don't probably realize is that if they go to Bonehead Weekly, they'll see a playlist with all of
yeah.
the ones you've ever done.
A dear friend of ours did that for us.
Oh, shucks. Somebody had to organize and clean up the
Thank you.
place.
Thank you.
There's like over 200 of those movie reviews, those
Yeah.
little 4 minute ones. You can kind of put the playlist on and burn through them and see how much Joe hates movies.
My rebuttal will be in a second, but real quick, I appreciate Wes and Brandon and Adrian but specifically Wes, and it's Brandon, and it's all Brandon. Brandon owns it all, and Adrian runs it, and they all do a fantastic job. But what I appreciate about Wes, I've never gotten one damn note. I've gotten a couple of things that he would like to see that I didn't particularly do, but I got when he offered me the gig, I said yes thinking this would last a few months, maybe. And my kid was 3. It was right before lockdown and COVID. That's actually what's funny because I told him, I was like, yes, this will give me an excuse to get out of the house for 2 or 3 hours. I'll always be like, man, I'd love to help with this child, but there's a horror movie playing that I got to do for the
Oh,
ScareFest.
darn.
Oh, sure. I love my son. Anyone who truly knows me knows that
It's sarcasm.
that's the reason why I'm comfortable making that joke. Because if you think that's serious, then you've never spent more than an hour with me. What do you think, Barbara? Is that about right?
Yeah.
So he just, and not one note, just keep it right here. Don't do X, Y, and Z. I won't say what X, Y, and Z are. I thought they were more than reasonable requests. And I, for the most part, have stuck to it. Every once in a while, I'll go a little bit longer than what he'd like, but rarely. A lot of times, I've even tried to get it less. It's cool. It makes me watch things that I wouldn't normally probably seek out and watch. It
Yeah.
does. The only complaint I have about it is that sometimes there's other things I want to see, and it's like, damn it, I've got to watch a horror film this week because something's coming. Because I
You got to do your homework,
got to do
right?
my homework. Because I've never not watched them, and I've sat through ones I would have so wanted to turn off.
Yeah, those are the ones that you in the playlist that are you saying it was okay until the third act
All
and then
right.
it
By
fell
the way,
apart.
I do not hate everything. You're the second blonde to say this to me in 2 weeks. She messaged me about 28 years later and said,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't believe you liked it. And I go, what are you talking about? It's Danny Boy.
Hey, she's not
I,
wrong though. You hate a lot of
I,
stuff.
yeah, because a lot of it is shit.
There were quite a few that I had seen at the theater that I was like, why did I spend my money here? I could have just waited till this was on streaming. And you just feel so disappointed. So I understand that feeling, but yet at the same time,
I do pull positives. 28 weeks later, I gave a positive review too. I gave a positive review. So she's mad because I shit on the 8 Scream 32 because I love Scream, the original one. It is a wonderful idea. It's so much just a moment in pop culture where it fit perfectly, where it was such a good movie. To me, I watched the opening the other day. Shit still holds up, looks
it does.
fantastic. Wes Craven did a great job. That Kevin Williamson script is cracking and rocking, and everyone has ripped it off. Everyone. Unfortunately, Scream has also ripped it off over and over and over. I like it when the sequel sometimes swings for the fences, doesn't always necessarily hit. Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch. I'm one of the few people who will defend it till the day I die,
I
going,
loved Blair Witch 2 more than the first one.
because it told a completely different story about the same thing and which pissed everyone off because it had this thing to say about you're going to believe videotape no matter what it is, which is now not even true anymore, but at the time it had all these deep meanings. A movie that came out last year that I liked, you tell me I shit on everything. I gave a positive review to Smile 2.
Oh, I have not seen that one yet.
Smile
Yeah.
2 was so bizarre and crazy and took the things about Smile you like and was like, screw that. We're going to go into European horror and Dario Argento.
What I love though about your reviews is that you do go into all of it. You're talking about the cinematography, you're talking about the characters, you're talking about the actual plot, talking about all of it as a whole, which is probably why you hold it to a certain standard too.
Well, you have to, even if it's low budget. So there's a review I just did for a guy I think who's a fantastic director. His name's Neil Marshall. And I don't know when the review's going to come out on ScareFest. And it'll probably come and go by the time this thing sees air. But I think the Neil Marshall directed two of my favorite horror films, Dog Soldiers and The Descent. The Descent's one of the scariest movies I ever saw because I have extreme is probably a strong word, but I have bad claustrophobia. And the villains in that movie aren't the creatures in the mine, it's the women attacking women. There's so many layers to that movie. And then I still watch shit like his Hellboy remake with David Arbor. It's a terrible movie. He has disowned it. And then he's made several low budget films, and I've seen his low budget work. Dog Soldiers. I see what he can do. And I'm going to
Oh,
review
yeah.
something called The Lair that's probably even less low budget. You can do a better script than that. Like, I get you have restrictions on other things, but those words are pretty cheap.
I have not seen Lair. Was it? Did you like it?
I liked a third of it.
Okay.
I liked half of it. It's a decent CB movie, right? I
Okay.
like the actress in it. A lot of the other supporting characters, terrible actors. But I like the lead actress. Her name's Charlotte Rampling or something like that. She's good. I just, it's not bad. It's not. But I've seen that dude work. He can do better work.
Well, you having the gig of panel moderator and having a podcast, do you feel like they kind of help each other then?
It's amazing. Sometimes you hit it off with guests and they stick around like last year for Charlie Band.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Just you just get along because you realize back to what I was saying previously, you're nerds. They're nerds too. The
Well,
really
and I,
successful ones are
yeah,
nerds.
yeah, but there's nothing wrong with nerds. Nerds make the world go round.
We do. And sometimes you have, like, I was real lucky. I don't know if I've told this story a lot. I know we told it on Bonehead, but Charlie, we didn't have a guest for Bonehead right after that director panel.
Boy,
And
that was under the wire. Woo.
we didn't have a guest. We were going to make it up. I would have got it done. Barbara's here heard me say this several times. It's not my first what, Barbara?
Rodeo.
I will deliver something. He and Tom Holland, the director of Friday Night, and they just liked me. I mean, not like, but we just got, they were laughing. We were having a good time.
You're making a connection.
Making because they're nerds. They like the same shit you do or something similar. And you just want to laugh and have a good time. And you'd be damned that most people don't want to do that. They want to be and some of those moderators want to be real serious.
Yes, I've seen that.
Why?
Got to have a good time.
Why?
I don't
Why do
know.
they want to be
That's
so
their
serious?
moment to
Aha.
connect.
What did you just say?
That's their moment. Oh,
There.
yeah.
It isn't.
We've seen that happen with panels.
I don't I last time I went to a panel was Barbara and there were several people all descended on a certain convention we won't say.
Yeah.
And then and Barbara accompanied me so I could just watch because she's a panel junkie and I started out as a panel
Yeah.
junkie when I started going to conventions and I
That's a
just went,
good name for it. I remember looking at you and saying, this is very different than what I'm, because my first panel I had ever gone to was actually not ScareFest. It was at Flashback Weekend. And there were some good questions asked there. But then when I got to ScareFest, I noticed that's the way that you would maybe not even ask a question and say, well, let's open it up. I think you kind of gauge the crowd and you gauge who it
you
is
do.
on the stage and you kind of know like, okay, it looks like there's people just burning with questions
Yeah,
and you don't want to take it.
that's exactly what you do. So what happens is that back to my point of their moment, it isn't their moment. My moment, unfortunately or fortunately, was before that person ever got on stage.
You make me so happy seeing you all these 9 years. 9 years I've been doing this. I started with ScareFest and it makes me so happy to see you all. Let's go ahead and get started.
That 10 or 15 minutes of getting you pumped. I use this metaphor all the time, or this, and it's example. I don't mean it to be dirty anyway, but you're just a fluffer. You're getting that crowd ready and just ready to go and excited about being there and that it's going to be fun. And then the piece of advice I give everyone when they back to what I was originally saying when they want to know how to do it, it's not about you. It's not your moment. You were there to make them look good and the people out in front of you have a good time. You have to remove yourself from that. Can you ask questions? Can you tell the joke when it's appropriate? How do you gauge that? Take some time and practice, and you're going to screw it up. God, I know I've screwed up many times, but just keep remembering it's not your moment. You were there to make that crowd happy. And that's all I ever want to do is to make them happy.
Yeah,
I
I
want
think
to
you do
make
a good job with that. And Brandon has said so too.
I want to make the person on or the people on stage look fantastic, whether I like them or not. And there's some I have not liked, just like there's some that's not liked me. There's some, but at the same time, that's my job is to make them look good and for you all to leave happy. And the more access a crowd has to the celebrity, the better they're going to feel.
Joe, what would you tell someone though who typically just goes to these conventions for the autographs and then kind of heads out, what would you say to them if they've never been to a panel?
They're wasting their money. They're wasting their money. They're missing out on so much. If you're just into autographs, there are certain shows that are just there's a couple of shows that have panels and I still say they're autograph shows. There are shows that exist for that. And there are companies that exist for that, right? You can go online and pay extra and have your stuff personalized. And you get, depending on the celebrity, Barbara, what would you say, between 30 seconds and 2 minutes?
Oh, it's pretty quick because if you have a line of people behind you, it's kind
You
of
got to
rude
get
to be
through.
taking up 5 minutes of their
And if
time.
and if you're Matthew Lillard a year ago, I have no idea. I everybody was asking, hitting me up for things. It's like I didn't see Matthew Lillard till he came to the screen panel 20 minutes late, and then he shook my hand and patted me on the back and said, "Great job." That was all the time I spent with Matthew Lillard. I might have seen. I don't even remember seeing the guy in a green room anywhere. I don't.
Yeah,
You
he
know.
was busy.
He's busy. So
Yeah.
you have a very little time. So if you want to hear these stories, if you want your shot to ask a question that maybe someone else hasn't asked, panel's always great. And if you have a fantastic question and you really, really, really want to ask it, I'm shocked at the amount of people who will hit me up for tickets. They'll hit me up for people to try to introduce them to people. They will hit me up for any damn thing. But no, rarely does someone, it happens maybe once a year, but does someone come up and go, I've got a great question. Will you please allow me to ask it?
Oh, missed opportunity.
You and I've never talked about that, have we?
No.
Once, twice, one time, LexCon this past year, and I knew her. I knew her, and I like her. And she walked up and said, Do you mind? And I was like, No, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the first one. And I've done that for people, but rarely do I get, and I'm not, so 70 of you now do not descend on me like a platoon of question hoes. And that's a Bill Burr joke. Just a platoon of hoes going, I've got a question show. Just don't descend on me now if this is on the staff group. But I am happy to take those and try to do my best to get them out.
And
What
that's the one thing that's within your power too.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the other thing is you get a little criticism. Well, this is more of a negative part of the job, but the criticism sometimes you get, and I'll use the Scream panel for example. I got criticism from one of the Scream actors about the length of the panel. I am a big boy, figuratively and literally. I can take it. I know that I have a privileged position and I need to have thick skin, right?
Right. Well, I knew that people in the audience were upset that it was shorter, but I didn't know that it was one of the actors as well.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll tell you which one afterwards. He wasn't rude. He just told me on the way off. I could have swore I told you this. And you get a lot of criticism for it. I had no control over that. I was told to do that. And what you have to remember, I won't give all the reasons. Do you know where they make money? On the floor. Do you
Oh,
know
yeah,
do
autographs.
you know where they're not making money? During that 45 to 35 minutes on that stage. So I just want to say that out loud. If you wonder, why didn't they take questions with this whole celebrity? Why did Joe Lewis only do the introduction and then walk off stage and then that celebrity rambled for 40 minutes? Why did I have zero control over those things?
You work at the Comic-Con out in
Mhm.
Lexington as well. I think there's quite a few times that they have their own setup that they want to do. So they're just like, take a walk, dude, take a walk.
Yeah, you're talking about huge people, cultural phenomenons like Bill Shatner. William Shatner does not desperately. His agent and I even talked about this. His agent and I spent some time together. I didn't really spend any time with Bill. He told me to do the introduction the way he wanted it, and then I did the opposite of what he wanted because I
Oh
wanted to do
no.
it the way I wanted to do it anyway. What is he going to do? What's he going to
What are
do?
you gonna do? Fire me?
You know, fire me? I'm not even doing the damn thing anyway. I just got up and went blah 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 blah. Full walked off stage. Shatner walked out. His agent and I were talking about this. Some of these people, they just don't, and I don't know if it's two things. One, I feel like my job gets me a bad rep with some celebs because of how poorly so many people have done it before me.
Oh, maybe. So they decide that they don't want someone doing it. They want their own guy. Yeah.
Yeah, back to that. It's their moment. No, it's not. It's not
Yeah.
your moment. Your moment is the privilege of just sitting there. Like Trejo and I at Comic-Con hit it off
He
just
seems like
because.
he'd be a cool dude.
Oh my God. It's twice I've done it, and he just gets nicer with age. He was in the green room making bird noises, trying to get someone's little kid to pay attention to him. That's behind the scenes.
These are the kind of stories that you have. People could come up to you, not while he's trying to go potty, but
Or
but
getting a
if
drink.
yeah, but that in between time, you can come up to Joe at the panels and ask him a question. There's
I,
something you want to know.
I offer it, especially when and a lot of people, the moderator doesn't come out till right before the guest. That's not true with me. Kat and Catherine Bell is one of the best ASL interpreters and has became one of my best friends on
We
earth.
have questions and we didn't get to them. They're going to be here today, tonight, and tomorrow. Go see them at their table. Buy some shit. All right.
She is along with the show. She's part of the gig. I walked back a couple of years ago and I was like, that lady's doing my bit. What's she doing?
She holds her own.
She holds her own. She's a very
Yeah.
strong person and she's very smart and she's very funny. So back to what I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, I tried it. I was like, does anybody have any questions? And sometimes it's a legitimate question like those things that you do there or and sometimes they want guests and I always try to explain. It's like, because there's another friend of mine who has said many times publicly, if you were looking for a guest announcement or if there's a certain guest you want, please ask Joey. He has all the power. I have zero power. Jared's an asshole.
That's funny.
It's funny.
I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Being that it's 10 years this year,
Yeah.
I know there was something special you wanted to do.
Oh, yes, that's true. So last year, apparently I had a really good time at the VIP. Barbara, Adrian, Christy Turner. There's several people who report back to me that I had a really good time at the VIP party and took a lot of pics.
And he stole someone's hat.
Stole Joanna's hat and she's like, "No, man, you keep that. I don't want that back."
Did she let you keep it?
I think so, but I don't know where
Oh,
I put it. I could have swore I brought it home, but I don't see it anywhere. So this is what I wanted to do for the 10 years, and we'll probably do something for the ScareFest fans page. If you want to design a hat and to get me to wear it during the VIP party, you are going to have that opportunity for my 10-year anniversary. And then whoever the winner is, what we'll do is at the VIP party, whoever wins, I'll wear that hat for most of the party. And B, we'll get them on stage really quick and thank them for being what a wonderful fan at the VIP party. And if we can't do that, then I'll definitely get you on stage at one of the big panels right before or after one of the
oh,
big panels, and I will definitely let you have your moment. But, well, I've done it before.
yeah.
Matt from oh my gosh, Matt from France. He sent me the sweetest message the other day. He added me on Facebook. We have people from all over the world at ScareFest, especially now that it's one of the top. It is probably either number one or two biggest horror convention in the world. And the fact that we have that in Lexington, Kentucky makes me so happy. So Matt was a guy from France, and 2 days in, I was like, "Who is this guy that asks all the great questions in the French accent?" So we start talking, and I got his ass on stage killing time before it, and I will do that for a lot of people. I do it for kids. We've
Yeah.
done Make-A-Wish for folks. Nothing gave no man, nothing gives me more. That's just joy. That's people go, that was so unselfish. I say, you kidding me? That's the most selfish damn thing I've ever done. Or one of the most selfish things. Nobody got more joy out of that than I did.
Yeah, I think that could be something cool. Make Joe a cool hat.
Absolutely. And we'll get you on stage and give you the recognition, and I'll wear that stupid hat. It has to be the most ridiculous.
Oh, this is going to be
The
good.
most ridiculous. I think so. I think so. And we'll do all the selfies that night. Absolutely.
Well, Joe, thank you for taking some time out to
No,
do
thank
this
you for having me.
interview.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I talk too much.
No, just the right amount. This is good. I wanted people to get to know you so that maybe we could get them into more panels since the panel rooms are going to be so big this year.
The panels are the best bang for your buck. They don't
Yes.
cost anything. I get questions all the time about, well, how much does it cost? It doesn't cost a damn thing. It costs you getting on the escalator, going downstairs and finding the panel room, which is 9 times out of 10 close to where you're spending all that money on photo ops anyway.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
and for the most part, even with these huge crowds, even with Scream when it was well past capacity and back to fire marshals, if you're wondering what my reasons were earlier, even then, we get most people in.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. There were a couple people that you didn't think were going to get into the screen panel, and they got in. They got a wall space. You don't get a chair, but
you get a wall space, and then for some odd reason you're rumbling back and forth, and you turn off the lights. Happens.
Oh my God, how many times did that happen?
Oh my, it has happens to me so many times over the year. Oh gosh, the fire alarms that went off during panels. I have one during the office. We had most of the office,
No,
Lexington Comic Con. Oh, it was
that's
huge.
not a time you want the fire alarm to go
Well,
off.
no one left. They
Burn
stayed.
it.
He's like, we're burning this fucker to the ground. We have everybody up here except Jim, Pam, and Rainn Wilson. So, and of course, Steve Carell. We
Those
didn't have
heavy
the big
hitters.
four. We didn't have the big four, but we had most of them. They were like,
Yeah,
nope, I am going to sit here and see what happens. We're going to burn
that's
it to the ground.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might not hear a ton of obviously Joe lets everyone take the stage and do their own thing, but if you want to get some stories out of Joe, you got to buy him some drinks.
I don't need you to buy me drinks, but you do need to not be an asshole. You need to be friendly.
And
And
if you
then
want to go up and just wish Joe a happy 10 years, you know the best way that you can congratulate him this year? Go see the Bonehead Weekly show.
yeah, we're going to do a live show. We always do one from LexCon and ScareFest. ScareFest has always done a great job of getting us guests, and I always appreciate that. That, like I said, the Chuck one last year worked out by accident, but I don't know who our guests will be this year. It's a little too far, and I actually have access to well, I won't say what I have access to because I don't want anybody asking me questions.
You're like,
Somebody was asking me about a damn Grim panel the other day. Somebody I
really?
work with, yeah, at the where I actually work at, it was like, hey, those Comic Cons are coming up. I see you got Grim. You're going to be doing that Grim panel. I really love Grim. Yeah, just let us know. Stop, say hi, talk to me,
Yeah.
subscribe to Bonehead Weekly. I don't
Yeah.
expect you to listen. That's too much torture.
Bonehead Weekly. Well, you guys see Joe in October. He
Thank
might
you.
be nice to you and he might not. If he's on the way to the potty, he might not.
I'll just say it.
Just saying.
Just find me later. I'd like to pee. See ya.